Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is an important video to help you understand Forex trading using patterns and specifically how to use the Elemental Trader pattern recognition software to make money in the foreign exchange. If you've been struggling in Forex, or if you're just getting started, your eyes will be open today to a whole new way to trade based on natural systems that have proven themselves over time to work in any market, but especially in Forex. Let's get started. Here's what we're going to cover. First, we're going to discuss what your goals should be as a Forex trader beyond simply just to make money. You need to know what you're aiming for so you can determine the best tools to get you there. Second, we're going to investigate natural patterns, which are the patterns that the Elemental Trader software is based on. Next, we're going to show you the profit data that supports why we love these patterns so much and show you the real-world profit potential of using the Elemental Trader pattern recognition software to guide your trades. Then we'll discuss how to move from theoretical profits to actual profits by discussing the basics of how to use the Elemental Trader software. And then finally, we'll talk about the steps you may want to take to get started so you can get profitable as quickly as possible. So put on your thinking caps, open your mind, get a pen ready to take notes because you are about to discover the power of trading patterns with Elemental Trader. So why did you start looking into Forex in the first place? To make money, right? But is that the only goal? Should you plod towards it blindly, casting aside any other goals? Of course not, because if you blindly aim for profit without gaining true understanding, the profits will be elusive indeed. In our considerable experience, there are some supporting goals that you should be trying to reach as quickly as possible. Before we talk about these supporting goals, let's look at the experience of your typical trader to see if any of it feels familiar. You might be making these very same deadly mistakes. Look at this chart. The market's moving, so there must be some money to be made around here somewhere, right? And the price is going up. Let's watch the market before we dive in. Oh, there's a trend, and it seems to be holding. Maybe we should buy when it consolidates a bit to eke out some extra profit. Oh, I missed the consolidation. It's climbing again. I better get in. I can't wait any longer. Okay, I'm in it. Look, it's still climbing. Dang, I'm smart. Good thing I didn't wait. Well, okay, it's correcting, but I'm sure the trend will hold. I'll increase my position here. Still going down. Well, cool. I'll double down because it's definitely going to go back up. Ouch, this is painful. Okay, when it goes back up, I'm bailing out. Whoa, I can't believe it's still dropping. It has to hit bottom soon. All right, this is too big of a loss. I need to wait for it to recover. This will be a long investment. Holy cow, this can't be right. The SEC's got to be doing something about this. This is insane. I'm getting out. All right, I'm out. Whew. Looks like it's still dropping. Some poor suckers are getting cleaned out. I'm glad I'm out of this trade entirely. Oh, now it rises. Well, it'll tank again soon anyway, so I was smart to sell and take a loss. See, it's tanking. I knew it. What the heck? It's climbing. Well, it's doing what I thought it would, but it just took a little longer than I thought. Should I buy or sell? Wow, there's a lot of money to be made here. Okay, I'm going to buy in again. It's cheaper than last time anyway. And look how clear this trend is. Uh-oh. Now that I'm in, it's changing direction. Oh, no. Does any of this sound familiar? Have you fallen into this trap? Is this how you trade, desperate for profits? Seriously, I'm sure much of that rings familiar, doesn't it? To be profitable, you should be trying to understand the fundamental nature of the market because chances are the market isn't what you think it is, and ignorance of its nature can and will cost you dearly. Understanding the laws that rule the market will also make the goal of improving your probability of making a successful trade much easier. After all, long-term profits come from the cumulative effect of winning trades, and without having more winning trades than losers, it's tough to make a profit. And the fact is that demonstrating the same behaviors that consistently winning traders display is the best way to improve your chances of being a winner too. And the main thing that winners do is learn a proven winning strategy and stick with it long enough to master it. So let's talk about each of these a little more in depth. When you look at a Forex chart, you might think you're looking at a record of the movement of currency pair values, and that's true on the surface. But because the market is traded mostly by people, it's accurate to say that all charts are actually records of human behavior. A chart displays the records of hundreds of thousands of individual trades, almost all of which are placed because of thinking, feeling, reasoning human beings made the decision to do so, all in an attempt to make money. This means that if there are some fundamental forces that influence human behavior, it will show up on a chart. It also means that if you understand those influences, you've got a new, powerful tool to help you profitably navigate the markets. But let's set that aside for a moment and then come back to it. As it relates to each individual trade that you're going to make, nearly everything you do to learn Forex trading is really about just one thing: improving the probability of a trade being a winner instead of a loser. Statistics experts tell us that in any win or lose scenario, over time you will win 50% of the time and lose 50% of the time, like predicting heads or tails during a coin toss. For any one trade or coin toss, there's a 50% chance of making money and of losing money. Your goal is to improve the probability of you making a winning call instead of a losing call, whether it's a coin toss or a Forex trade. Even if you only tip the odds in your favor by 1%, over time that 1% will add up and you will be profitable in Forex over the long term. Small hinges move big doors, so improving your odds is paramount, and that's why we love trading with these patterns so much. It dramatically improves the odds of you being successful, and you'll see proof of that shortly. Another very important goal, which contributes directly to improving your odds, is to engage in behaviors that lend themselves to improving your probabilities and avoiding the behaviors that decrease your probability of making a winning trade. It is absolutely true that long-term successful winning traders behave in a much different way than the majority of traders. The vast majority of traders are stunningly unsuccessful, so you do not want to behave the way that most traders do. But don't worry, by watching this video, you are well on your way to being ahead of the crowd. You are learning cornerstone information that will serve you well for years to come and help you get on the right track to profitability in Forex. The key is to become consistently profitable, but consistency boils down to practicing the right day-to-day behaviors. Consistency is something you do, not an end result. After all, you don't one day find yourself suddenly falling backwards into a pile of consistency. If you behave in a consistent manner, trade by trade, then you will get consistently great results. To see consistency in action and why it's so crucial, let's take a look at this performance chart by one of our resident expert traders, Derek Fry. This is his actual trading record. Take a look at April of 2009. He had been doing very well, but then had a month where he lost 824 pips, and it took his running gains down to 5% from over 13%. It was a dismal month by anyone's measure. This is the point at which most traders abandon their consistent good trading behaviors. Had Derek let his emotions take control, he would have stopped trading this strategy and gone on to the next one. But Derek knew the strategy was sound, and he knew that this was the exact time to stick to his guns and keep his behavior consistent. And guess what? The next 3 months went very well, and very soon he was up to a cumulative return of 52%. That is a perfect example of behaving in a way that leads to consistently good results over the long term. Do you have the kind of strength to ride out the losing streaks without changing your game plan? We can help you develop it, that's for sure. So to summarize, emulating the behavior of consistently winning traders is the best way to ensure consistent results in your trading. So why aren't more traders consistent with the right actions? Most traders lose because they let emotions factor into their trading. You can have the best strategy in the world with the highest win-loss ratio and completely fail by letting emotions guide your trading. Fortunately, the more you trust your strategy, the easier it is to be dispassionate about your individual trades and let them play out according to the parameters of your strategy. Keeping emotions out of the equation is just one of the numerous behaviors that winning traders engage in that you will want to mimic or emulate. The more you emulate the behavior of winning traders, the more likely you are to become a winning trader yourself. So, understanding and learning these behaviors is very important and a very worthwhile goal for the time you spend studying and implementing Forex. A final goal that supports your quest to be a profitable Forex trader is to adopt a winning strategy and work with it long enough to master it, to make it your own. And let's be honest, there are hundreds of different strategies out there, and a large number of them do actually improve your odds of making more winning trades than losing trades. With so many good trading strategies out there, why aren't more traders successful? Because they don't take the time to learn their strategy thoroughly, and they don't stick with it long enough to master it. What usually happens is they start making money with the strategy, and they're pleased with it, but then hit a rough patch, a streak of losing trades, so they abandon the strategy. Or worse yet, they deviate from the strategy and let their emotions rule the day. This is dangerous because they think that they are following a strategy when they are not, because emotions have taken over. When they lose a bucket of money, they blame the strategy instead of their susceptibility to their own emotions sabotaging their success. Most of the time, the strategy isn't the problem, the trader is the problem. It requires commitment and patience and a certain degree of fortitude to stick with a strategy through the losing streaks, which are statistically proven to be unavoidable. They're part of the game. Losses are par for the course, and they won't take you out of the game unless you react with emotions. Eventually, you work through the losing streaks, and it's usually followed by an incredible winning streak. But few traders understand why losing streaks happen, so they fail to prepare themselves mentally beforehand. Having trust in your strategy goes a long way towards solving this problem. Sticking with a strategy long enough to master it is incredibly important, yet very few traders do it. Make the decision to be one of the few who do. So those are the 4 cornerstone goals that lead to the top goal, which is to be a profitable Forex trader. And it is our goal to help you get there. So let's keep going. Why do we love trading with natural pattern strategies? Well, aside from the simple fact that it has proven itself, there's another major reason. Remember when we said that charts are records of human behavior applied to trading? Humans are deeply enmeshed in natural systems and are governed by them whether we like it or not. The fact is that we are subject to certain natural laws and the dynamics of nature. And one of the dynamics is that there are ratios that occur throughout nature which appear in all natural systems. Well over 2,400 years ago, mathematicians studying basic geometry noticed something very peculiar. Wherever they looked within nature, the same ratios kept popping up, so they called them golden ratios. Here are a few examples you may already be familiar with. And guess what? These ratios also appear in the charts of any market that is traded by humans. How can that be? Aren't markets artificial systems that don't interact with nature? Well, that would be true, except that the market is traded by humans, and as we said, we are not immune from the laws of nature. Even our bodies conform to these ratios in hundreds of different ways. Then our Italian friend Fibonacci revealed a sequence of numbers based on the golden ratios that further clarified how natural patterns are at work in man's endeavors. Our charts are riddled with these ratios and Fibonacci sequences. Now this may not seem like news to you if you've been using Fibonacci-based indicators in your trading, but most people don't realize why they are there in the first place and why they work. And once you understand that these ratios create patterns that show up in your charts, you will start to understand the power of natural patterns. The pattern recognition software simply looks for and finds patterns based on the patterns found in nature, and then they signal you when to trade. Better yet, they also give you clear indications of how to place your stops, though this requires more in-depth teaching than we can provide in this short video. But unlike every other formation that we see on traders' charts, these patterns, which are based on the golden ratio, are not invented by man. They are organic and natural, and were merely discovered by man, and there's a big difference. In general, following the laws of nature is a much safer bet than following the fickle inventions of man as we try to understand the world of investing. These patterns are in harmony with the natural ebb and flow of the markets and help us to navigate it smoothly and profitably. All other indicator types are man-made inventions that do little but confuse traders and lead them down blind alleys. Now that you have a better understanding of the nature of these patterns and why they work in all markets, not just in Forex, let's see how well they work over the long term. Take a look at this chart, which is a record of over 1,000 trades made using indicators that focus on 4 common natural patterns in both bull and bear markets. On average, these patterns led traders to make successful trades about 89% of the time. That is the highest long-term success rate produced by any type of indicator in any market in any time frame in the history of mankind. But what about you? How well can you do with the Elemental Trader pattern recognition software? Well, let's see what one of our expert traders, Derek Fry, has enjoyed lately. Derek, over the last 22 months, has achieved an overall 74% rate of return, and his trade calls have earned him 7,414 pips. That means if you followed these exact trade calls and started with a $10,000 account, you would have made $7,414. Now, out of the 22 months, he had an overall loss in 4 of those, which means he has 18 months of gains, which is a first-rate win-loss ratio. And here's the kicker. This 74% return is achieved by trading only a single mini lot with no use of leverage. Imagine the explosive growth you could achieve if you use typical leverage. Overall, this is an outstanding track record that any trader should be very happy with. We already showed you the results for April of 2009, in which he took a sizable loss, which turned out to be a precursor to some of his best months ever. In June, Derek made 908 pips. In July, he bettered that with 1,005 pips, and in August of 2009, he made a whopping 1,642 pips using these patterns and using this software. That's an excellent summer of trading by anyone's standards, and he was able to do that after sticking to his strategy to the letter through one of the worst trading months ever. So losses are just part of the game, and you have to develop the confidence and resilience to keep trading in a very elemental way through those losses. Sure enough, Derek hit another rough patch in September of 2010 with a loss for the month of 303 pips. While this is nothing compared to his earlier loss, to most Forex investors, this is a big deal, and most traders would tuck tail and start looking for a Forex robot at this point because fear would take over their behaviors. But we know that Derek's next few months are going to be stellar. So now that you see the long-term historical results of trading using natural patterns, and you see the real-world individual results of a trader who is actually using the Elemental Trader pattern recognition software, you can have confidence that this is a proven, viable, highly effective, and simple long-term trading strategy that can build real wealth for you, and you can stop searching for the next killer strategy. Your search is over, and using the Elemental Trader software is the first step to making real money. So let's talk about that software and how to use it to be more profitable. We don't have the time in this video to get into the nitty-gritty of all the features and functions of the pattern recognition software, but we do want to point out a few things that you may not already know. The pattern recognition software is a cutting-edge indicator that plugs into MetaTrader, so you need to download MetaTrader from a broker who offers it if you haven't already, and it will clearly show you when the profitable patterns have formed, giving you the confidence to place your trade. Secondly, no matter what time compression or currency pair you are in, the software shows the 4 most popular and profitable, naturally occurring organic patterns in Forex. Once you see the patterns have formed, your next step is to actually place your trade. The software shows you the PRZ, which is the potential reversal zone. Here is the PRZ for this chart. When one of the 4 major harmonic patterns form, there is a very high probability that the trend will be reversed and the market will start to move in the opposite direction. You will want to enter the market somewhere in this PRZ area. So this is something you can get familiar with over the next several days. Look for the patterns, then watch to see if the trend in fact does reverse. Keep in mind that these patterns are accurate over the long term. It is entirely possible that you can see the patterns form with no reversal, but that's okay. Short-term variations don't faze us because this is a long-term strategy. And third, don't forget that you'll need to set your stops according to your tolerance for risk and trading style, because after all, every trader's situation is unique. There is no single way to be profitable in Forex, so you will want to factor in your personal tolerance for risk and use leverage accordingly. Always follow smart account and money management practices to protect yourself from risk. As you saw in the real-world trade results, you can make incredible profits using virtually no leverage at all. It's that powerful. Now, we have developed a set of risk and account management practices that provide strong returns when followed without deviation that specifically relate to the use of these natural patterns, and these will become available to you soon. That brings us to a brief discussion on how to shorten your learning curve so you can make maximum profits with minimal effort in the shortest amount of time possible. We've already talked about emulating the behaviors of experienced, consistently winning traders, and the importance of this cannot be understated. Finding a winning strategy is also a necessary prerequisite, and we have just presented you an excellent strategy with the pattern recognition software. But if you want to climb to the top of the mountain quickly, consider mentoring from a qualified mentor. It's a fantastic investment, and we'll let you know about your options soon, and this will save you months, if not years, of stress. So begin learning this strategy now. If you haven't already, it's time to install the software to MetaTrader, fire it up, and start searching for those patterns. When you see the pattern has clearly formed, place your trade. Start out with conservative stops and even consider paper trading until you're getting consistent results, then switch over to live trading with real money. We will be releasing a special report in just a few days that will give you additional insight and tips on how to be a profitable pattern trader using the Elemental Trader pattern recognition software. So keep your eyes on your email inbox. Right now, we'd appreciate it if you would take a minute to post a comment below to let us know how we're doing. If you found this video insightful, please let us know. In conclusion, leave your emotions at the door, learn one system until you have mastered it, and don't deviate from your plan, even when you get on a losing streak. Follow those simple guidelines and you will become a profitable Forex trader. And we look forward to reading your comments, so let us know what you think by entering your feedback now.